How does it look? Hello everyone. Sound test 1 2 1 2. I'm feeling much better, thank you. How are you guys doing? Hello everybody. How is everybody doing? How are we all doing? Hello. It's there. It's there. It is there. Do I have a mic? Okay, I'll try and be a bit louder. Hey, because the mic, yeah, had issues. We are doing well, thank you, Kali. Is it much better? Shays, is it louder? Yes, there is a WhatsApp group. Let me try and pull it up for you if I can get it. Okay, I'll try and find it. The link itself. Perfect. Can you hear me now? Am I much louder, Khalifo? Or maybe, I think, oh no, it should be fine. Because the volume settings are very loud for YouTube. But I think it should be fine. But yeah, how's everyone doing? So today will be GitHub, and after GitHub we'll build a portfolio website all together. It's still the same. Can I use a specific thing? Okay, give me 2 seconds. 2 seconds. If you're on 50% and I'm loud, then what could be the problem? Thank you, Nelwa. I was like, let me just try something new so I can hide myself when I'm not showing myself. Perfect. Cool. Yeah, I think Khalifa needs to try and increase her volume because uh, we are good on the side. But let's get started. Very excited about today's one because you guys will have a portfolio and we're gonna host it on Netlify, so you guys can actually put it up there. No, I'm not ripping Puma. Okay, I'm ripping both Puma and Adidas. Puma in the Man City way, and then the Adidas jacket. But don't tell Puma. Don't tell Puma I'm wearing Adidas. Okay, is everyone ready? Can we get started? Oh, his thing is still on. Starting soon. Oh. Are we ready, guys, to get started? Thank you for the taps. Thank you for the shares. Thank you for joining. W Man City fan. I'm gonna lose followers for being a Man City fan. Yes, we will be starting from scratch. Yeah, so we're doing, so right now we'll be yes, Rato, all the sessions are on YouTube. So if you go to my YouTube account, you'll find all the sessions there. Yeah, we'll be doing it from scratch. I want us to do GitHub. If we can do GitHub quickly, do GitHub with Nelo needs to be my moderator as well, actually. We'll be doing GitHub. When did you go, Villain? I always forget where the setting is, actually. Yeah, so we're doing a quick GitHub session so we can understand what GitHub is, because, and we're not gonna use, yes, Barcelona fan, but I don't wear Nike. We'll be using GitHub desktop, and then after we get a quick session on GitHub, we're gonna start working on a portfolio. It'll be a quick portfolio website, and then yes, I'm live on YouTube right now, and then we'll host it on Netlify so you guys can actually share that website with other people. I think we can get started. So the first thing we need to do is we need to download GitHub desktop, right? So to download GitHub desktop, we will search for GitHub desktop. Okay, wait, let's start here. Does everyone have a GitHub account? Nope. Okay, so I do. Okay, one person doesn't. So if one person doesn't, then we can just quickly show how they can get an account. So to get a GitHub account, you need to search for github.com, and after clicking on github.com, you'll enter your email address and click on sign up for GitHub. After clicking on sign up for GitHub, you'll get an email, and in that email you'll have to verify, create your password and all that stuff, and once you're done, you should be having a GitHub account, because the rest of the stuff will be what we'll be doing together. So just try and quickly sign up for a GitHub account and then we can get started. It's github.com. github.com. But yeah, I think we can continue. Okay, so it's who said no again? Rato. If you can't access it, just let us know, but we'll continue, and then hopefully you'll catch up and let us know if we need to just explain to you again. Okay, cool. So we need to go to GitHub. Oh, we have an account, right? So we need to search for GitHub desktop. It's GitHub desktop. After searching for GitHub desktop, you'll see this website called desktop.github.com. So we'll download GitHub desktop from there. Once you click on it, you'll see on this download GitHub desktop. And after downloading, we'll go through the steps now. So everyone can just download GitHub desktop if you haven't downloaded it already. If you have, we're about to get to a part where we're showing how to actually use it. So a quick breakdown on what GitHub is. So GitHub is basically a platform that hosts code online, right? And it needs internet, and you use it via a website or an app. So unstable connection. Oh, so there's a GitHub app as well where you can actually see your code. But the way GitHub works is it's just a platform that hosts hosts code online, where people can actually collaborate and work on the same project, having different versions. So the way this works is, thank you so much for the follow. The way this works is there's something called Git, and Git is like a notebook that remembers everything. So if you think of Git, it's something that, let's say you're writing something, right? And it lets you go back in time and actually see what you wrote, remember what you wrote, and you can make changes to what you wrote. So that's what Git is. You'll work on a file. It will remember that you started working on index.html, and after working on index.html, if you said, oh, let me make a change, you'll make a change. But if now that change was not the correct change, you can go back to that first version you ever worked on, because Git will remember every single file. So that's called version control. So it creates different versions of the file itself. I hope we understand that part. So we understand what Git is, right? Git is basically smart notebook that remembers everything that you write, and it lets you go back in time. Yes, download GitHub, please. Please download GitHub. Yeah, so that's what Git is. That's what Git is. Git works as well. Oh, what's happening here? TikTok is doing its own things. Can you still hear me? Am I audible? Yes, perfect. Okay. Yeah, so now that's what Git is. Git basically tracks your file changes. It works offline, so Git is local. Sign into desktop. We'll get there now. So it's sign into desktop. Oh, that's proper. That's proper, Thunder. Cool. So Git tracks your file changes. It works offline, and it's used via commands, it's basically used via commands. Hence, we'll be using GitHub desktop to make it a bit easier. So GitHub hosts our files or our code online. So when you think of GitHub, think of it as a Google Drive for Git itself. So now when you think of Git is your notebook, right? And GitHub is where all your notebook notes are stored. That's what GitHub is. It basically stores all of that, and then you can see the work there. Do we understand that part? Yeah, boo. Please let me know if you don't understand. This is also very important. You'll be using Git all the time as a developer. You'll be using Git, so you need to really understand Git. And then I will show you guys how to work on different branches, main branch. But yeah, so we're just getting the understanding of what Git is, what GitHub is, then we can move on, right? Nelwa, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Nelwa. Yeah, cool. Let's continue. So we downloaded GitHub, right? GitHub desktop. No. Leave Git. Leave Git. So ignore Git. Even if you downloaded Git that time, you can leave it as is. We are now working on GitHub desktop. So we're working on GitHub desktop because it will be much easier. Don't leave Git. We're downloading GitHub desktop. We are downloading GitHub desktop. As you can see, Git says it focuses on what matters instead of fighting with Git. Whether you knew, it just simplifies the way you work, the workflow itself. So after downloading, you'll click on the install file, and after clicking on the install file, it will pop up just now. Hi Kmo, how are you? Okay, there we go. So it will show up this simulate a Git conflict. I can do that. I'll show you that. Yeah, we deal with those almost all the time. So you need to understand how to actually work on those, fix them, merge if you have to merge, things like that. But it's very interesting. So we'll quickly get into that. Okay, so this will be the screen that will come up, right? So after seeing this screen, you need to click on sign in to github.com because we signed up via github.com. We're not using GitHub Enterprise. We are using sign in with github.com. After clicking on that, it will redirect you to your browser. Then if you have an account authenticated, which you should have because we just signed up or we signed in, then you'll click on continue and just allow it to have some access. So if maybe you don't want it to have access to certain organizations, I think you can disable that within your settings, but you shouldn't have organizations at this time because we're still new to this. So you'll click on authorize desktop. Oh gosh, please work. How much is the website? Which website? Oh, there we go. Okay, you put in your password, or if you have a passkey, use passkey, and it will ask you to open GitHub desktop. So you'll click on GitHub desktop, then it will open back up GitHub desktop and do the authentication stuff, right? After that, it will show you this configure Git. Just making sure everyone is on the same page. Are we on this page? Thank you so much for the heart me. Yes. Do we need to download? Oh no, we don't have to. Or I think that's an old comment, but no, we don't have to download Git. I just hope everyone's on. Okay, not yet. So trying to sign in now. Okay, just let me know when you guys are. Can I successfully proceed with GitHub Web? Not necessarily, because if you have GitHub Web, you're not gonna be able to do commits or anything because we're not using Git at the moment. Oh, sorry, but yes, this will be recorded. It will be saved onto our YouTube channel. If you want to watch it later on, due to bad network, you can watch it later on. But yeah. YouTube is behind. I will stick to TikTok. Yeah, YouTube does a delay, so YouTube is very behind. My interest for GitHub desktop. Do we access an app? Yes, through an app. So you'll be using an app. You're on the configure Git now. Okay. Is everyone else on configure Git? Yes, the tutorial will be posted. For GitHub, yeah. Please, can you make sure we're using the app on desktop? So we should all be now on configure Git. If anyone is not there, please say now. But we should all be here now. But your mind went straight to let's get started. Okay, it's fine. Let's just wait for us. We'll catch up to you now. Pumu, do I sign in on the PC? Yes. So it will say sign in to GitHub desktop or sign in to GitHub enterprise. Choose sign in to GitHub desktop. It will take you to a web browser. After it takes you to the web browser, you'll have to just sign in on the web browser, and then it will take you back to the app. Okay, I think we can continue, right? We'll continue. Okay, so just click on configure manually, and then you'll put in your name. Make sure your email that you add here matches your GitHub account email address. So whichever email address you used for GitHub sign up, you'll put that email address. Nero, what's the problem on your side? How can we assist? Thank you so much for the heart, me. Okay, cool. I think I'll continue. Then if you are stuck, just shout and we'll... You can change the name, but yeah, just use your name. It's just best, but yeah, you can change the name. Just make sure your email is exactly the same. Still downloading. Okay. No, we'll come back. Just try and take notes of where we are. We done configure manually. Oh, network ish. Oh, network is hitting some people. Thank you so much for the heart, me. So a terminal is basically a command line, basically. So that's what you use to interact with the computer a bit faster than using a GUI. So GUI is your GUI, so that's like your interface. That's what... Oh, thank you so much, Debu. Thank you so much. Yeah, so that's basically what it is. So you'd call that your shell, or yeah, basically you're talking to your computer by typing instead of using your normal clicking on file explorer, clicking on the document, or clicking on a folder. What the terminal does is you use commands to actually do all of that. So instead of using your mouse, you'd be typing, saying cd. Today we are building a full portfolio website, but currently we're just quickly understanding what Git is, installing GitHub. What GitHub is, what Git is, installing GitHub desktop, as well as... Thank you so much for the gifts, Tando. Appreciate it. So yes, some people use GitHub desktop in real life situations, but other people prefer using the command line. So you'll see your applications like Visual Studio Code also have its own version control system which interacts with Git and GitHub as well. So yeah, you can keep it as that then, but configure manually. Put a name, put your email address, then we'll click on finish. Okay, so we'll continue now. Now what we have to do is we need to click on finish, and it will take us here to let's get started. No, it can, if we move a bit fast, we can finish in an hour to actually finish the website. So I was calculating 30 minutes for this quick tutorial on GitHub, and then an hour on the website with some questions obviously, and then yeah, we should have it up and running on Netlify for you guys to share with your friends or post it, but it will be live for people to see. Cool. Are we all on? Let's get started. Yes, we are. Perfect. Now what we have to do is we will click on create a new repository on your local drive. So what we want to do is, normally what you could do is, we have a lot. You see, I've got projects that are already on GitHub. You could either click on those to clone them and work on them, or we create a new repository. But we want to do it from locally because we want to start local, then push it to GitHub. So we'll start it on our local machine, on our device, then afterwards we will push it to GitHub. So we'll click on create a new repository on your local drive. Create a new repository on your local drive. Cool. Now it will give you a pop-up. Can people see? Ish. How did we get to that screen? So the way we got there is, the first thing we did is we downloaded GitHub Desktop. After downloading GitHub Desktop, we installed it, and it gave us a screen of sign in with github.com or sign in with in Enterprise, GitHub Enterprise. We clicked on sign in with GitHub Desktop. After clicking on with github.com, after clicking on sign in with github.com, it took us to github.com's website, right? After it takes us to github.com's website, we sign in and it will redirect us back to github.com's app. After it takes us there, we'll be authenticated and it will ask us to configure our name. So you can keep it on, you can say configure manually, put in your name and surname, and put in the email address that is used for your GitHub. Okay? After that, it takes you to this screen called Let's Get Started, which is what we're on right now. After being on Let's Get Started, you'll click on Create a New Repository on your local drive. Okay? So what it's saying is we are creating a new project. A repo is essentially a project. We're creating a new project on our local drive, meaning on our computer. So you should have this pop-up. Does everyone have this pop-up so we can continue? We are pushing to GitHub, but we are not using terminal because terminal would be a bit more complex for people to understand the commands. So we are starting with GitHub Desktop so that it's a bit easier for people to actually use. This will still do the same thing Git does locally on your using terminal. It says welcome to GitHub Desktop. And is there any options, Pumo? Guys, are we on this create a new repository screen so we can continue? If anyone is stuck, please shout now. Yes, so there should be a button at the bottom there that says you can create a new account if you don't have one. So if you don't have an account and you're on the desktop, you can create a new account from there. I forgot the option down there, but there's an option there that lets you know. Yes, they will also find terminal so much easier. It's the best. But I saw the setup was taking some time, and I feel like explaining the commands on live would be a bit more intense. Bro, I just got in. Mind if you start again? Ooh, start again. Okay, I'll explain again, but I can't start again because I've already signed in. So what you need to do is you need to download GitHub desktop. After downloading GitHub desktop, it will take you to a screen, or you have to install it. Then it will take you to a screen to sign up or sign in. It will give you two options: sign in with github.com or sign in with GitHub Enterprise. After clicking on sign in with github.com, it will take you to your browser where you can sign in. After signing into your account, it will redirect you back to the GitHub desktop app, and after it takes you to the app, you will click on next, or after you've signed in, it will take you to a page where it says configure. And configure means just say configure manually. There'll be two options. Click on configure manually, add your name and surname, add the email address that you used to sign up with GitHub, and then you will click on finish. After clicking on finish, it will take you to this screen called let's get started. Then after clicking on let's get started, you will click on what is it, create a new repository on your local drive. This will be on YouTube. We are live on YouTube right now. Thank you for the follow. Get started. GDG Soweto. Okay, think we'll continue. If you don't have anything, can you try and create a new account and see if it allows you? Okay, let's continue. So now the next part is asking us for a repository name. So for now, we'll call it our practice site. Practice-site. So we'll call it, yes, 100%. If you are behind, you can go on YouTube and you can rewind, be able to see where we are. Okay, let's continue. So description is not mandatory, but you can add a description. We can just say our first repo, but we'll call it a test, right? Then the local path is basically where the actual Git will be saved. Doesn't matter where we have it there. This will be where the repo will be saved, right? So can either save it there, or maybe you want it in a new folder. You could have a folder called documents within, development stuff, maybe development in your documents or in your desktop. But what we're doing here essentially is we're creating a folder where we'll have all our projects that we'll be working on. So you can just go to your desktop or your documents folder and then create a new folder called development. If you don't want to do that, you can keep the path it gave you here already, which is GitHub. It will automatically recreate this directory for you. So I just want mine to be more organized, to have it under development. So you'll create development folder and click on select folder. Once that's done, you can say initialize with readme. Are we still good? And then for git ignore, I don't think we'll need a git ignore actually. Yeah, we don't need a git ignore, and we do not need a license. So you add your site name. We're calling it practice site because we just want to do a quick practice, and then we'll create our portfolio. The next part is just a description of the site. We just said my first test repo. Then you choose where you want to save the repo, the project, and then you can have you can tick on initialize this project with a readme file. What is a readme file? A readme file is basically a file that gives you full information on what the project is about. So you can have steps on how to set up the project, on what technologies you are using in the project, what features are available in the project, how to use it, and all stuff like that. So that's what the readme file is. So gitignore is a file that basically ignores certain extensions within your project. So if you have a gitignore, you're basically saying that when you're making changes, git must ignore that file. So as you're writing in your notebook, you're basically telling that the notebook must ignore saving or pushing that file to GitHub ever. So it's something where it does not look for changes, it does not check, and it does not do anything. So it will stay local and it will not go up to GitHub. That's what your gitignore is. License is basically what people can actually do with your project. So it's a license you can add to say what are the limitations that are with your project if your project is public. So let's continue. We'll click on create repository. Oh, sorry, please repeat. Am I too fast? I'll try and go a bit slower. I'll try and go a bit slower. Okay. The first step, rats, is we need to have a name for the repo. Firstly, what is a repo? A repo is a project. Basically, it's a project folder, and that folder is within GitHub as well as Git locally, right? That's what the repo is. So when you hear repo, if you just hear repo, it means project. Just think of repo as project or folder, right? Yeah, now the next part is the description. Description is just you saying what is my project about, and you're just putting a description of what it's about. Cool. Then the next part is local path. Local path is asking where in your computer can I save this project, being the repo. So you're just saying, Guti, in my computer, save all my projects or this specific project here. So it will automatically create, it will be like this. So the way it will show is it will say it will be in your C drive, which is your main drive, uses your the username, which is whoever's using the computer, and then it will be under documents and GitHub. But what I want it to be under a folder called development, because I want all my development stuff to be within that folder. So what I did is I created, thank you so much for the roses, guys, I appreciate them. What I did is I created a new folder within my documents called development. Then I select that folder and it will change to show that folder as the local path. Hope we're good there. Then initialize this repository with a readme file. This basically means as we are creating this project or repo, must GitHub automatically create a readme file for you, just so basically the file will just be there. And then if not, you don't tick it, but we just want a readme file, right? So we'll tick it. Gitignore basically says, remember the analogy I gave us at first? Git is basically our smart notebook, where if we're writing notes, it will save and remember the notes so we can come back and edit those notes. So what it's saying that Git will look at the notes being your code or files, and after it sees those files, if a file is within the gitignore file, it will not even remember the changes. So it won't even remember to say, oh, the .env added 2 more passwords or 2 more keys. It doesn't care about it because we are ignoring it. That way, nothing gets sent to Google, to GitHub.com, so that it's not hosted where people can actually see your secret keys or your API keys and things like that. Then the license is just you adding a license to say what type of license does your project use. Hi Nat, what type of license does your project use? What can other developers do with this project? What are they allowed to do? Things like that. And then that last part will tell you where the project will be created. So it's just telling me that it will be created under documents in the development folder, and then the name of the folder will be practice site, that being our repo. We're good now? Okay, cool. Let's continue. So we'll click on create repository, and then what it will do now, it will show us this new page. So give it a second to just create. And then here we are. It's done now. So you'll see it says no local changes. There are no uncommitted changes. So there's nothing. Yo, mobile is hard for Git. Dave, do you know of any applications I can use? But cool, let's continue for now. So basically now let's go to where our project was saved, right? Hey, on a phone is gonna be very hard. Yeah, can they please rewind also? Zoom kancane. Okay, I'll try to zoom. I do see it's a bit small, especially for TikTok. Oh yeah, some people no, but I think they need to go to YouTube as well. No, tablet's the same unless you've got a Windows tablet, I think. I'm not sure. Okay, it's not going bigger. I think if you can go on YouTube, it'll be a bit better. Name on YouTube, Simphiwe Radebe __. The road will be. Okay, cool. Let's continue. So now what we want to do is we want to go to our project folder within our desktop, right? So where did we save our file? It was under documents. So what you need to do is you need to click on your file explorer and go to documents. Under documents, remember mine was development. Yours could be GitHub if you did not change it. But you'll click on development, then click on practice site, and you'll see these 2 files right there. You've got git attributes, and then as well as readme.md. .md is a markdown source file. That's the file extension for your readme file. So it's basically just a certain yes, Puga, how are you? It's a certain extension we use which will show our readme files in a certain way. So it kind of uses, I forgot the type of text it uses, but we'll get to that shortly. And then am I going too fast? Because this is, yeah. No, you do not buy. Please do not buy. You're not buying anything on GitHub. No, you don't buy. Please just sign up for free. There should be a sign up for free. There's no need to buy anything. I'm going too fast. YouTube says I'm fine. But okay. Let's go back. Few seconds back. So we are now on GitHub desktop, right? This is what you should be seeing, okay? So the next part we need to do It's fine if you see one file. It's fine. It's fine. As long as you're seeing readme.md, because we created that. Plain text. Did you click on the tick of initialize with what's this readme file? Oh yeah, please click on. Yeah, who's working with Termax? That's the app. Okay, cool. What we need to do now is we need to now access our repo within the File Explorer. So File Explorer is where you find all your files, right? So we'll click on File Explorer. After opening File Explorer, on Mac it would be Finder. Open Finder, and then where was that local path taking you? Mine was taking me to Documents. So open on Documents, just create another repo, Cyril, and then you'll be able to tick it. Okay, and then yours should either say GitHub, or if you followed what I did, it would say development, right? Sign in to GitHub, not enterprise. GitHub.com. Cool. Now the next thing you need to do is you need to click on development, okay, or GitHub. Now you should see practice site in there, unless you named it something else, but you should see practice site there. This is your repo. This that you see right here is your repo. So you'll click on this and you will see the two files, readme and get attributes. If you did not tick on initialize with readme, you will not see this readme file. Perfect. Yeah, we are all together. Cool. Now the next part we need to do is maybe we could open the readme file, right? Open the file, open it with right click and open with VS Code. Cool. Now you'll see some text in here. That text doesn't matter. You can maybe add, this is cool. Just add some text within there. Just add some text within the readme file. Okay, are we good? Then the next part we need to do, are we good? We've added something, right? We've written something. Please make sure you write something on there. Whatever you want to write, just write something in there. Then we continue. Okay, we good. Yeah, please save. Sorry, I forgot I have autosave. Create, KB, please create a new repository. But yes, please make sure you save the file once you're done adding. Make sure you save the file. Make sure you save the file. I've got auto save on, so yeah. But once you're done, go back to GitHub desktop, okay? Now what you will see here, I wish I could zoom in. Actually, this is very small. Oh, that's the tab size, eh? Okay, I can't zoom in. I'm sorry guys, I can't zoom in. But cool. So what you should see now, just give it a second, let it load, right? So after it loads, it will show you changes. So it will tell you that you've got one new changed file. How do you save? Control S or Command S. If you have autosave enabled like me, you do not have to save. So to enable autosave, you'll click on file at the top, and there should be autosave right there. Make sure it's ticked. That's autosave, so you do not have to worry about saving. All the projects we do on VS Code we load onto GitHub. Not at the moment, but we can load them onto GitHub. There's no need to redo them. To save, it's Control S. Rewind a bit. So what I did is should be no changes here. Cool. So what I am saying, right, is the first thing you'll see, obviously it says no local changes. So what I said is I want us to open our readme file. Our readme file, please right click on it and make sure you open with VS Code, Visual Studio Code. So when you open it with Visual Studio Code, okay? Open with Visual Studio Code. Then it will open up Visual Studio Code for you, and you will see your readme file right there. So it will have text. If it does not have text, do not worry, but it will have text, and all you just need to do is add anything. So you can add your name, you can add whatever, but please add something to it. So just add something to it. Make sure you add something. Thank you, Nelwa. Yeah, please make sure you do add something. After adding something, please go back to GitHub desktop, okay? After you go back to GitHub desktop, it will load and show you that there's one changed file. So automatically, or if you have, make sure you save. If you don't have autosave, then it will show you. Yes, thank you so much, Prince, because we want to get to the project as well. Cool. So now we've made a change, right? So after we've made a change, you'll see on the bottom left corner, right? Bottom left corner, there's two things down there that say, that have your profile picture and some, it right now it says update readme, right? So what you need to do is you can either just say updated readme, or you can write whatever you want. Maybe you can say I added my name, or you can say I made this change, whatever you want. Okay, description is not necessary, but you can add a description. It's really not necessary. And then after that, you need to click on commit one to main. Okay, commit one to main. All right, so you just add a commit message, which would be there next to your profile name. Then you can click on commit one to main. All right, okay. Cool. Once you're done with that, you will click on publish repository. Right now, remember it's local, right? Just click on publish repository. Then it will give you these two options. Make sure you are on github.com, okay? And then it will automatically fill in the information for you. Then there's this tick here that's very important. Do you want this to be available for other people to see, or do you want to keep it local? Sorry, I'll be back in a second. Cool. Let's continue. Let's continue. Am I back? Am I back? Am I back? Oh, YouTube is... Oh. Is sound back? Okay, perfect. Let's continue. So what we're doing here is we added some text change, right? Then we were on GitHub, we made a commit, then we said push repository. Okay, perfect. Now make sure this will automatically fill in on its own, and I was explaining that you can keep the code private. If you want it public, untick this and it will be public to anyone who comes across your GitHub profile. So we'll keep it public, it's fine. Then we'll click on publish repository. Okay, then it will just give it a second. You'll see at the top there it's loading, so it's publishing. So what it's doing is now sending your entire repo to github.com, so it will be available online. Okay, now you'll see there it's done. So now it will show you fetch origin was last fetched now, and your current branch is that. Cool. So we want to actually see how does it look online. Okay, so let's go back to our web browser. Okay, so we're going back to our web browser. Once we're done there, we're going back to our web browser. Make sure everything is done. You see the last fetched and you have no changes. Okay, you can, if you unclick keep it private, then it will be available for anyone to see. So it doesn't matter, we can have it as public, but if you want it private, keep it as private, but just unclick it to have it as public. Cool. So we go back to our web page, or our browser, sorry, and under our browser we need to open a new tab. Okay, we need to open a new tab. Cool. In this new tab we need to search for github.com. Enter. Right, you should have been signed in. If you are not signed in, just sign in. Okay, so we're on github.com. Okay, we are now on github.com. What is GitHub for? GitHub is a platform that hosts projects or code and allows for collaboration between developers. Cool. So now what you need to do, let's try and zoom in a bit. You need to click on the top right corner, your profile icon. Just click on the top right corner profile icon, then you will see different options. You've got your profile, repositories, all those different options. I want you to click on your repositories. Okay, click on your repositories, then it will open up a new page. Cool. So this new page should have our practice site. So that site that we just created, or that repo we just created, is now available on GitHub. Anybody can find this by opening github.com/simistips/practice site, meaning it's now active, it's now online. Now if we click on this, you'll click on the profile icon and click on your repositories. Click on your repositories. Okay, click on your repositories, then it will load this with your repositories. Okay, then you will click on this new one. This is the new one we just created, practice site, and click on it and it will open up practice site. Now if you see this practice site here, your readme file automatically opens up and you'll see there's your name there. There's all that information we had within the readme file. So this would be what a developer or someone who's opening your project would see as soon as they open the repo. Okay, I hope you're still following. And you'll see here under the code, the green button, there's a number there that says 2 commits. So commits are basically saying we've got now two versions, let's put it like that. So there's been something happening twice. So the first one is initial. So the initial commit is you pushing to GitHub for the first time and adding those two files. Then the second one is now the second version where you've done something to the file. So you've done a second commit and you've pushed it to your branch or to your main, and you've done a change. So you'll see every commit that ever happens on your repo in here. So if someone made a change to say they added an index.html file, you'll see that there. You'll see all the commits there. Cool, are we good? Thank you for the follow. Thank you for the taps, everyone. Thank you for the follows. Thank you for the views. Thank you for the likes, gifts. Thank you, everyone. Cool. We can continue now. Perfect. So what happens now is we've basically created a repository. We've understood what Git is, what GitHub is. Yes, click on that practice site we just created. So basically we've worked with Git, GitHub. We understood what those are. We have installed and used GitHub Desktop, and we were able to track changes using GitHub Desktop. Okay, now I want us to go out of this and I want us to create a new repo where we'll start with the portfolio site. Okay, are we still good? Oh, now you follow. Okay, perfect. So what do we want to do right now? We want to build and publish a simple portfolio for you guys to show off with, that you've created an actual portfolio for yourself, because that portfolio could be the start of you adding now more projects, you know. So portfolio is a real world example of a project because it's something like your digital CV. So that's something people can look to see what you've done. So we'll just create a portfolio. You can obviously, you'll customize it to what, yes. So you'll customize it to what you want, but yeah. Jabulo, what did Jabulo say? Oh, okay, perfect. Cool. Are we still good? So we can get started, right? So the first thing we obviously need to do is we now need to create a new repo. So this was just for you guys to see how it works, but now we're creating a repo that we are going to be working on. So we need to now work on this specific repo. So what we have to do is we go back to GitHub Desktop, and on your top left corner, you will see file there. Where you see file, click on new repository. If you're good with shortcuts, you can click on Control N, but it's there at the top left corner. You click on file, then you click on new repository. Cool. The pop-up will show up again, and this time we'll call it portfolio website. Please make sure you add a dash so that it's a good name on GitHub. So you'll see if it doesn't, it will automatically add the dash for you also. But yeah, just make sure you have a dash. You could call it Simphiwe portfolio, but yeah, whatever you want. But we're now creating a portfolio. Okay, creating a portfolio website. Thank you so much, Lisa, for the heart me. I don't know when you sent it. Yo. Cool. Description. This will be our new portfolio for alright. You can add a description. If you don't want to add, you don't have to add one, but just adding the name, a description, where we want to save it, so you can leave it as what it is, because since we've selected it for the first time, the rest of the folders will also go in there. Okay, then initialize this repository with a readme file. Please make sure you tick on that. Make sure you tick on it so we can have a readme file. Then git ignore is not important. Git ignore is not important, and the license is also not important because we're just doing a website. Cool. So everyone note, we are done with the GitHub session. We are now working on coding the portfolio website. Okay, if you have missed out, can you please just go to YouTube, just rewind, and you'll get to at least see the parts. But let's just continue and do the actual website now. Maybe questions we can get at the end of the website, but obviously you can ask within what we're doing. Perfect. Okay, cool. So we've added our details. Now we click on create portfolio website. So it's whatever you want. Just make sure you're just saying that it's a portfolio. So it's whatever you want. Yeah, so whatever you want, just make sure it's portfolio. Okay, cool. So after creating it, this time what we'll do, it will be a bit different. So the first thing we'll do is we want to publish the repo to GitHub already. So out the bat, after we've got our repo created, we want to publish it. Thank you so much for the heart me video. We want to publish it to GitHub. So you'll click on publish repository, and then all the details should be there. You can keep it as public because we're gonna, thank you so much for the roses, Vuyo. Keep it as public because we want to be able to access it via Netlify when we're hosting it. Okay, so make sure it's on private and organization is on none. Cool. Then you'll click on publish repository. Okay, click on publish repository. Then it will publish the repo to GitHub. What we basically just did, just this time we have no changes that we done. But now we're gonna learn how to actually build the website, portfolio website. Then we're gonna be able to so we're building a portfolio website today. Can you see that? Yeah, and then we're gonna use some HTML, CSS, and then yes, the session is recorded. Thank you so much, Vuyo. Yo, you blessed me. Thank you so much, Vuyo. And then we will use GitHub and Netlify. Are we still following? Yes, YouTube will have a recording. We're still following. Cool. So what we can do is you can either click on open in Visual Studio right here, or if you want to know, oh, thank you, Vuyo. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Yeah, so we need to open the repo, or yeah, in your external editor being VS Code. If not, if you want to know exactly where it is, you can open VS Code, click on file, and click on open folder. Okay, click on open folder. You'll open folder, and then go back to development and open portfolio website. Open portfolio website. Select folder, and here is our portfolio website. Make sure you just trust the authors because you'll always be using the development folder. And yeah, so we've now opened up here. Cool. Now the first thing we need to do is create our index.html. Okay, so you'll click on new file and say index.html. Right? Are we still following? We've now created a new file called index.html. Index.html. Now in this index.html, what we're doing is we are now going to create our normal HTML structure. So you'll type HTML5 and it will give you the entire structure for you. Okay, it will give the entire structure. Then you can change the title to be whatever your name is. So I'll say Simphiwe Radebe portfolio. Okay, so now I've named it portfolio, being my portfolio, because I'm creating mine. You'll name it your name portfolio. Okay, you'll name it your name. Yes, it's money. It's money. Yeah, it's on TikTok, so she's just giving me gifts. Cool. Now the next part we need to do. Oh, wow! I didn't even know you're here. The next part we need to do is, after creating index.html, we've added our title, and then we'll go back to our Explorer and create another file called style.css. So this will be our style sheet. So we already learned what CSS is, so create style.css. So we'll leave that empty for now. What we want to do first is create our structure, how our website will look. So we created our index and as well as our style.css. So we'll go back to index.html. Is everyone still following? Are we still good? Are we on the same page? Yes. Please slow down. Yo, I feel like I'm going so slow. Like very slow. Okay, where are you stuck? Tell me where you lost. Yes. Which part is this I've just shown? So we're starting the portfolio website, Tepo. So we've already finished the GitHub side, and now we're just doing the portfolio website. Okay, no, let's. Okay, let's. I don't know. Okay, if you don't have the structure, are you using VS Code? But if not, we'll just type out the structure. First thing we do is, yes, they they need to come to YouTube. Yeah, if it's VS Code, then just type HTML. You should see these three. Then click on HTML:5, and it will give you the entire structure for you. Cool, perfect. Let's continue. Okay. Ish, no, we've already passed that part. So, can you please go to YouTube to rewind? If not, we'll try and get back to that at the end so we can continue. People on YouTube are fighting because you're like delaying them. Get you comment where? No, okay, let's continue. So what needs to happen is we need to create our project structure. So the first thing we're gonna have is a header. So like I said, can I disable Copilot for now? Cool. So we create a header, right? Like I said, the header is basically kind of like your nav. It's your root or root element of a section. So this will be like your nav bar in a way. So we're creating a header section, and in that header section we adding some information. So the first thing we'll add is an H1. We'll say hello, I'm Simphiwe Radebe. Okay, right? So we've added an h1. We've added an h1, and then I didn't close it. So please make sure you close your tags so you don't get any errors like red tags here. So please make sure you've closed and you have no errors. Then the next part is we're just adding some text, so a P, which is a paragraph. So in this paragraph you can maybe say welcome to my portfolio website, whatever you want. Oof, this will disturb me again. All right, perfect. So we've added our text. So this is just a header and some text. So we can open it on Chrome quickly to see how this looks so far. So we just have this and some text. Okay, no, this is still HTML. We're just getting our structure ready so we can add some CSS. Okay, so that's our header section. That's the first part, right? Now the next part we need to do is we're now creating a section. So we're working with sections this time because you want to be able to navigate your users to different places if you have a nav bar, or a nav bar which will say home, about, projects, etc. So we're adding a section. So this is a section tag. So we add the section tag and we'll give it a class name of about. Okay, so we give it a class name of about, right? Are we still together? Are we still together? Then the next part we can just add a heading. So the heading can be about me. Okay, and then you can have some text. So what about you? So I'm a software developer. I started coding in the FNB App Academy 2025. Cool. That's just some info. So let me try and separate these so you can see. Even here. Okay, cool. So now we've added a section with the class name about. So remember what we spoke about classes yesterday or day before yesterday? We're basically giving this a name. So when we are using it in CSS, we can basically select it or call it using this name about. So we're naming this section about, and this is the information we are adding in the about. Okay, are we good? Hope we're good. Then the next part we need to add is a section again. What section are we adding? What's happening here? Section. Cool. Now after this is our first section. The second section we want to add is a section to display what projects we've worked on. Okay, so we can add a class, and in this class we have projects. Okay, so we have projects. So this we are calling it our projects. So how will we display these projects that we have? So we learned about something called lists, right? Unordered lists and ordered lists. So we already did unordered lists as well as ordered lists. So we'll add a header, of course, so we can name this as projects. And after that, we need to now add a list. And I feel like an unordered list would be better to display than to use numbers because we just want to show bullet points. So you'll say UL, close it, and in your UL, how many projects do you have? So you can, yes, this is recorded. Please do let me know if I'm going a bit faster. Yes, there is a bit of a difference. So a section is literally a tag to do a section of the actual HTML file. So it's like section of the actual document. Then a div is like a container. So div is basically a container. So here in this section, I will show you how we're gonna use it. But basically we can have, we're going fast. Oof. How far are we? Let's go back fast. Let's go back and move a bit slower. Let's go back and move just a bit slower. Actually, let's even move this section. Cool. I'll start just again quickly so we can be on the same page. So obviously the first thing we did is we add we add our title, and after adding our title, don't mind, we already know the HTML structure. I'm not gonna go over that again. Then the next part is, the first thing we're doing is we're adding a header. This header will contain some information. So this is like your first section of the website. So this is, like it says, the header of the website. Okay, after adding the header, the next part we are adding is a section, right? So we're now adding a section. Okay, this section is going to be our about section. But now in this about section, we want to name this section as about, because when we use CSS, if we call section, it's going to affect all the sections we will have. So we want to uniquely name section as something, so when we are making styles to it, it does not affect other sections. Got that part? Cool. Now to name this uniquely, we add an attribute called class. Okay, this class, we name it as about, because this is our about section. Okay, this is about section. Now in the about section, you want to have a heading. So the first heading obviously will be about me, because you're writing about yourself. This is your portfolio. Okay, so you add about me. Cool. Then the next part is adding some text about you. So what is there about you? So you can type to say software, whatever you are. Development in in the FNB App Academy 2025. Cool. I hope we're together there. So all I did is just add a heading and some text for this section. So we can go back to Chrome and see how these two look so far. So this is how it looks so far. Okay, we added a heading, then we added this section, about me section. Okay, cool. I hope we're still following. No one is saying that they lost, so I'm continuing. Cool. The next part is we want to have a section for our projects. Okay, so we add another section, and this time we want to name this section projects. So you'll say class projects. Okay, class projects. Cool. So you're just naming it project. Okay, then after that you want to add more information within this section. Within the section you want to add some more okay, cool, no problem. You want to add some more information. So what projects have you worked on? Now obviously the first thing we need to obviously add is a heading. So you want to name the section as heading, so people see that this is as project. Sorry, you want to add a heading so people can see that this is your project. So we add an H2. So you can add an H3 if you want, H5, but we'll add an H2 for now. And then in this H2 we're gonna call this projects. So you can even be you can do whatever you want to say. Projects I've done, whatever you want. So that's about me. So it's just headings, does not have to be exact as what I'm doing. So I've just named it projects. And how do we list something? So to list something, project will obviously be a list because it's multiple stuff, right? So since it's multiple stuff, you want to have a list, okay? And in this list, or what list do we use? We're first going to use an unordered list because we want to have bullet points. So to use an unordered list, you type ul and open and close them. And in ul, you need your list items. List items in this instance would be your projects. So you'll add all your different type of projects. So it will be ul, okay? So after your heading, you add your ul. Then in your ul, you need to have your LIs, being your list items. So you'll have your unordered list. In your unordered list, you have your list items. So the first list item could be, what was the first thing you've done? You've done this project, portfolio website. Yeah, you've done a portfolio website. You've done you can make up whatever, or you can put whatever you've done. You've done taxi app. What else have you done? So everything. TikTok went off. Why? Can TikTok still see me? How? Oh, there we go. Okay, was not showing up on my side anymore. Cool. Let's continue. Okay, so this is what we have so far. But you can add more projects. So whatever you want. So just add as much as you can. 4 is enough. We don't have to add that many more. But you've just added an unordered list with different list items. List items being your projects, okay? And then if we go back to the site, we'll see this unordered list with all the projects, okay? Unordered list with all the, if y'all can see it, I know it was doing something last time. It was cutting, I think. Yeah, cool. So you should see this. This is what you should see for now. Now the last thing we want to add is a footer. So what is a footer? Footer is the bottom section of a site, which usually adds copyright or contact details, whatever the likes are. So we'll add an element called footer, okay? And in this footer, you just want a quick paragraph tag. So we're adding a section called footer. Footer is the bottom part of your site. So if I can show you a footer, who would have a footer actually? I'll show you my church's footer. Yeah. So footer would be this last part. You see this bottom part that says copyright? So this would be your footer. So that's what we want to quickly add. We want to add a footer. So in the footer, all we'll do is we'll add how the person can contact you. So they can contact you. So you can just say contact me on and add your information. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, and then maybe email address as well. John. Okay, so do you understand this part? So this is your footer. You're just adding a section at the bottom of your site, a section at the bottom of your site where people can at least see some information about the site. So normally we add, yes, we're starting a new website from scratch. Yeah, the date on the Grace Bible Church footer is outdated, so the developers need to do something about that. But no, I'm kidding. I'll have to fix that. did not notice that, but yeah, thank you, Bao. Cool, so we've added a footer, and this is the final site that we have. We are basically done with our structure. Okay, so this was just the structure of our site. Now we need to add some CSS to this to make it look a bit nicer. Okay, so what we can do, since we've been learning GitHub as well, let us push this to GitHub. So we have our first, oh, footer wise. Okay, so this footer is the bottom section of the website. So I was showing an example of footer is this. Oh, you'll see this whole section down here. This is a footer for the Grace Bible Church website. So the footer normally has your contact information, copyright, and who was developing it, etc. So that's your footer in most cases. So we were just adding a footer for people to contact you. So we just added footer, contact details, email address as well. Cool. Perfect. So now we want to add some CSS. So obviously this is what we ended up with. This is our last change. Yes, it will be saved on YouTube. You can watch it on YouTube right now and rewind if you want to rewind, but we are live on YouTube as well as TikTok. So this is the final site. Then the next thing you need to do is we go to GitHub desktop. So we'll go to GitHub desktop, and what you will see is it will load this to show that you've got some changes. So it will show that you have some changes. Now what I want us to do is I want us to commit these changes, because I want us to have the first version of this file on GitHub as well as on our version control. Okay, so to do that, they should be selected automatically on your left, on the top left, or not top left but top section on your left hand side. You'll see the two files, index.html as well as, okay, I'll do that, Miss B, as well as style.css. So make sure they selected, because what we want to do is we want to commit these two files. So we want to say that we're ready to have these changes noted and pushed to GitHub. So it wants a summary. A summary would normally be your commit name. So what are we doing here? So we're gonna say implemented, lost you after showing that footer. I said after showing the footer, we basically done. I said after showing the footer, we done, and we want to go to GitHub desktop. Okay, after showing the footer, we want to go to GitHub desktop, and on GitHub desktop, you will see two changed files. So these are the two files we just created. Yes, you can go to GitHub. These are the two files you'll see, the two files that are created. Okay, make sure they are ticked on the side. They must be ticked, both of them must be ticked. And then we want to add a description. So you see in the bottom left corner, there's something that says summary required. So summary is basically your commit name. So commit name would be, we just normally you make it as descriptive as possible. Sometimes people just say adding this file or whatever, but my YouTube name is Simphiwe Radebe __. So you'll find it there. Okay, cool. So you need to say, you need to add a commit name or commit description. So what I'm saying is we implemented portfolio structure. Okay, so we just added that, implemented portfolio structure, and a description. You can add a description if you want. Maybe you can say empty CSS file, whatever. So that's what we are adding there. I hope you're still following. So we added a description of the commit. So what are we doing? And then, so basically what are we telling this version that we've now committing or pushing to GitHub? What does it contain? So when someone, whoever looks at this, can say, oh, this person was working on this and this and this. Cool. Then you did not open the repository correctly, so you can open it on the side, click on file, and then click on add local repository, and go to where it's located. So let's continue. Now the next part is we need to click on commit files to main, or should I do branch? Okay, no, let's do main first. So it's fine. We'll commit files to main. Okay, so you click on, I tried to zoom my description. It's not mandatory, it's just you describing what the site is about. I'll try and zoom in again. Thank you, Piwa. Okay, please just give it a second to update the text. Yes, you have to commit files to main. Yes. Okay, I think it should be a bit better. Yeah, the other time it was very big. Yeah, no, just keep pushing. Then look at your other stuff like Flutter and React, things like that. Cool. Let's continue. So now the next part is sorry, just gonna change the song. Cool. Now what we're doing is we click on commit two files to main. So we want to commit these files to our online repo. Okay, so when we click on commit files, it will start committing. Then after that, you'll see that you've got one commit. So if you check right here, it will show you that you've got one local commit waiting to be pushed to GitHub. At the top there, you'll also see push origin, so it will let you know that you can push now to origin being GitHub. Okay, so you can click on push origin. Yes, this live is recorded. You can click on push origin, then it will start pushing to GitHub. So you give it a second to push, it will start loading up there, and wait for it to finish, and then it's done. Once you see fetch origin, you'll see that it's done. Then go to GitHub online, and you will see, okay, you'll have to go to your repositories again, then open up your you'll see overview, then click on repositories, then open up portfolio website. So it's a bit big now, yeah, now you'll see the files that we have here. So this was our initial commit when we created the repo on GitHub desktop, and then these are the files we just committed. So you'll see now we've got two commits, the initial one and this one we just done now, implementing project structure. So now we know our code is safe on GitHub, and now we can continue. Yo, that's very big. All right, can we continue? Can we go to CSS now? Has everyone committed their files? Can we go to CSS? I don't think you done the steps correctly then, because we created the repo from. Just make sure you go, just try and click on your repositories and then see if you can see your other repos. So there should be this one up there also. Okay. Cool, let's continue and then we'll try and you can continue also, Yaso, and then we'll figure out the GitHub at the end if it's still giving you an issue. Cool, thank you so much for the follow. Ooh, that looks so big. It's because of this text change thingy majiggy. All right, perfect. Now we'll move to CSS. So what we have to do now is we need to link our CSS to this this HTML file. So how we do that is, first thing we need to do is under our title we need to add a link. Okay, please, we need to add a link. You should see go live at the bottom here. If you wanna see your website, go live should be just down there, bottom right corner. Then just click on go live. If not, right click on your file, your what's this, your HTML file, and click on open with live server. Cool, let's continue. So now we're adding our CSS. Okay, so to add our CSS we need to add a link. Okay, and the way we add a link is we add a link and relationship is shortened with rel, and then what is the relationship to this link? We are linking a style sheet, so you'll write style sheet. Okay, yeah, style sheet. Okay, and then the next part is where is it? So we need to add our href being the name of the CSS file. So we're just locating where the file is, and make sure you close with closing brackets, and what is it called, angle bracket. Cool, so we now we've linked our CSS to our HTML file. Now we move to our CSS side. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is we want to play around with the body. Okay, so this is the section we want to play around with, this body. So we want to now call this selector, the body selector. So first thing we'll do is in our body we want to change the font of the entire site. Sorry. Want to change the font family of the entire site. So to change that, we put in font family, and we'll choose a font that you want to use. So I'll use Sego UI, Sego whatever, Sage U whatever. Cool. And then we add a background. So just add a background color. Okay, and then what color do you want to add? You can add whatever color you want. So this is like a lighter white, not necessarily white, but a lighter white. Then you can change the, or not lighter but darker white. Then you can change the color. Yes, there is a YouTube channel, same name as my TikTok. Same name as my TikTok. It's Simphiwe Radebe __. Then the next part, we need to just change the color of our text. So to do that, we type color : and whatever color you want. So this would be some gray. Okay, yes, we're building a website. Thank you for the follow. We're building a website. So just to recap quickly, we added a font family. The reason we're doing that is all the elements within our body will follow this font family, and this will be the font family for the entire site. Okay, then background will be the entire background for the entire site. Color will be the color text for all the font within, or all the text within the body, being the entire site. Okay, then we can just remove our margin and padding. So just say margin 0 and padding 0. So I think we've already gone over the syntax, but just make sure, let's just do the syntax again. So to make sure, firstly, body is your selector. Okay, so this is whatever you are calling within your HTML file. So if you go to HTML, you see this element called body. We want to call or select this body and make style changes to this body. Okay, so the reason we added body there is because we want to make changes to body. So we are now working on the body itself. Then you need to use these curly braces, whatever, curly brackets, and not any other brackets. So do not use the round brackets or square brackets. You need to use these curly ones. And then after that, you will have font family. This will be the property you are trying to edit or use. So the first one we're using is a font family. Then you have a colon, and then after the colon you have whatever you are using. So within font family, this is the font we are using. So you could just use Arial if you want to use Arial. Then you can have Arial, sans serif, whatever you want. So I want to use that one, say Go UI. Then always make sure you close or you end with a semicolon, because if you've got stuff after, you will see it will start showing an error because you have not closed the previous line. So make sure you close the previous line by ending it off with a semicolon. Cool. Sorry. And then the next part is we need to add the background. Okay, background, we're just changing the color bit. You can have it as white, you do not have to have the background. You can have it as blue, green, but it's whatever you want to style it as. Okay, then we have the color. This affects your font color. Thank you so much, Tando. So this affects the font color. Okay, so the font color will be this. If maybe we wanted the font color to be blue, you type blue and the font would be blue. Okay, so we just setting it to whatever color we feel comfortable with, which I'm using a gray. So 333 is just a gray. You could even type gray, or you could change it up here however you want. But yeah, cool. Then margin, like I said, margin is the spacing between the browser top and sides. So we are removing any margin within. No, you do not have to memorize them. So there is a hex code. What is it? Hex? Yeah, hex code colors online where you can actually just see them, or VS Code does it for you as well. You can just type the color. So hex code online, you can literally find the color and get the hex code itself and copy it. But your normal ones that you'd remember is your white, black, gray. White being 6 Fs, black being zeros, and then grays like your 3s, whatever. But VS Code does it for you, so you can just hover over the color and you can change the color however you want. Cool. Like I said, margin is the spacing on the side. So if I remove margin, you'll see there'll be some spaces. You see there's some spacing between the border of the browser as well as the text. So we're just having 0 margin so we can do some edits later to move our sections wherever we want them. Margin 0, and padding is within. So padding would be spaces inside. So like I said, so you're just removing padding and margin, so you're making sure there's no spaces whatsoever within the body itself. Cool. Then the next part now we want to tackle is the header. Okay, so remember the header, we did not add any class name, right? We did not add any class name, so we do not have to call it using a class name. We can just use the actual element name. Okay, just need to you just need to use the element name. So for this one we want to add a background color to the header itself. I hope, are we still following? Just making sure people are still following. Okay, I'll just give me about 2 seconds. Perfect. Let's continue. So what we now need to do is we want to add a background color for the header itself. Okay, so this is was BFF. It's a light blue. Most days supposed to be every day, but yeah, there's normally some work, so most days. Okay, cool. So this is the background color we'll be going with. Yes, that's where you start getting to your bootstrap and stuff like that, but we'll also get to that if we can. So yeah, this would be the header itself. So it added this background color, but we'll obviously do some more changes. Then you want the text for this one to be white. That's FFF. So that's how it will look. Then you can add some padding inside. So you want that within here it's got some space because it's now touching the border of the section or of the header itself. Okay, so you can add maybe 20 pixels, and you can text align. So you want your text to be aligned to the center. Let me try and zoom out of this. So you'll see right now it's not responsive. There we go. So you see, this is what we should be getting now. So the way we did that, we added a background color. So this will affect the background of the header only. It will affect the background of the header only. Then color will affect the color of the header. So color of the header will be white, meaning the text will be white. Okay. Then padding, add some padding within. So if I remove padding, you'll see how everything is very squished. So padding just adds some spacing within the element, not outside, but within the element. So it gives it some spacing inside of the element itself. So we're giving it 2 pixels. 20 pixels. You can adjust it to however you feel looks much better for you, but I'm happy with 20 pixels. So this is how it will look, and this is what I have so far. Is everyone still following? Are we still on the same page? Do we have the same thing or similar? Following? Yes. YouTube. Yebo. My elastic came out. Okay, cool. Let's continue then. So we all have the same header, right? We're looking good so far. It's now looking a bit livelier. Now it looks a bit better than what we had previously. Okay. Now we're done. Basically, we're done with our header. We're happy with our header. We're done. Cool. So after our header, we now had this section called an about section, right? We had this section called about. Now we will call we're still following. So now we'll do dot about. Okay. Dot about is now saying when you use dot, you are now calling a class. So this is a class. If you had an ID of about, you would use hashtag. So if you're using a class within your element, you use dot. And if you're using ID within your element, you use hashtag. So that's the difference between the two. So you wouldn't call about like this because about is not a known selector or element. So these are known elements within HTML. Hence, you can call section, body, whatever without using dot. But now if you come to about, which is a class, you need to use dot to say I want to find a class that is named about. Okay, so that's the reasoning between hashtag as well as dot as well as no dots. Cool. Then we need to now add some padding. We want to add some padding within the about section. So you see how it's added some padding. So it added some padding at the top and on the sides where it looks a bit nice. Okay, and then Junior Web Dev here. Hello, Junior Web Dev. Please explain again. I'm too serious. What does 4 pixels, what does pixel px stand for? It stands for pixels, so it's basically a measurement for, oh, I don't know how to explain it. Pixels meaning it's a basically it's your, I'd say, think of centimeters, millimeters. Yes, so that's like a measurement within the screen. Thank you so much. So yeah, hashtag, when you use hashtag, you are using an ID. So using an ID there, and when you use dot, you're using class name. About is not a non-name. About is for section, hashtag is for ID. So what I'm saying is, yeah, about is not an element. Okay, about is not an element. About is a class name, so it would not know what about is. Hence, you need to use dot to say I want the name about. So I want the class about within my HTML file. So it will look for anything that has a class name of about if you use dot. The moment you use hashtag, it will look within your HTML file and look for anything that has an ID of about. So that's the difference between the two, the hashtag and the about. So we'll use dot. Okay, so I want us to actually start with the sections. So let's just start with the section quickly so we can have one section, then we'll edit the actual just check what I did here and see if you have the same thing. Or are you able to go to actually YouTube? I actually go to YouTube so we can maybe rewind and see if there's anything you maybe might have missed. Cool, so I want to add some padding to the section itself. No, I'm not a hacker. I do not hack. I want to add some padding and margin. Okay, so margin now, like I said last time, we were using padding with 2 values. So what I'm going to do here is a 10 pixel auto. So this is saying within my y-axis, I want 10 pixels margin, right? But on your x-axis, it needs to automatically do the margin for you. So that's the difference between the two. So the reason you add 10 pixels auto, you're now just saying your y-axis must be 10 pixels, you are setting it, and x-axis must be auto. So if maybe you wanted it all to be auto, you just say auto and all axis will be auto. Yes, we're on CSS now. Got that? So you can just make the top and bottom. So basically y-axis is top and bottom of the element, x-axis is left and right of the element. Cool. Then we can set a max width of this section. So what's the max width we want this section to be? Sorry, you can go to YouTube and rewind, or watch the oh, YouTube is behind and slow. Oh, because I stopped for TikTok and then got you. So you can set a max width to say I want this section to have a max width of this much. So you see it will stop it. Yes, you can, but rather use a style.css so you can separate your HTML with your CSS. So do you see how the website now looks? You've got basically some spaces between both sides. So it's now made this section a maximum width of 600 pixels. So it will not go above 600 pixels. So if I had to close this, it will keep like that, you see. So that will be the max, and then as soon as you start going down, it's allowed to go below 600 pixels. So if I go that way, it's allowed to go below, but the moment it passes 600 being around here, it will not go beyond 600 pixels in width. Hope we got that. Cool, let's continue. Then we can add a background color, right? This one will make it purely white. Then you can see a bit of the difference between these two. Is necessary to use auto on margin? No, it's not necessarily. If you want to put a certain margin, you can add actual value for it, but it's not necessary. You can adjust it however you want. Cool. So now, like I said, you see the different colors, right? How it's got some difference. So this is its own section, this is its own section, here's our footer down there. Cool. So we need to now complete it by maybe adding some border radius. So border radius is the curve of the section itself. So maybe I want 15 pixels border radius. Let's see how that looks. So there you might not see it clearly, so let's maybe change this to be just a bit darker so we can see how it actually looks. There we go. So now we see our curves, right? So this is our curves. So this is the border radius. So border radius does curves to the element. So you pick how intense you want it to be, how curvy you want it to be, or less curvy. If I said 8 pixels, it will be a bit less curvy. If I say 20, it will be more. And so you adjust it according to how you want it to be. So this is how 20 looks, and then maybe 15. Then yeah, so now we're happy with that. This is what we have so far. We've got our header, we've got this, and then we've got projects. Then we want to add a box shadow onto this element. So it must be like it's elevated on its own, right? So let's just change this back to what we had. Then we want to add a box shadow, right? So with the box shadow, there's 4 different what do you call the attributes, I guess. You've got your horizontal effect, vertical effect, you've got your blur radius, as well as the blur color or shadow color, right? So the first one is your horizontal effect. So this is just saying I want it positioned from the section itself. I want it positioned 2 pixels, meaning it will move 2 pixels horizontally. Sorry, I'm going the wrong way. It will move 2 pixels horizontally, and then if you say 20, it will move 20 horizontally. If you say negative, it will move backwards. So 0 will be I don't want it to go anywhere. So if maybe we said 15 pixels, okay, we have to obviously add a color first. So we'll just start with 0, right? So we don't want any horizontal effect. We want it to stay there horizontally, but we want it to go down just a bit, so you can see, you know, like that shadow, you know, almost like it's above the element a bit. Okay, so to do that, now we add the next part, which would be the next pixels. The next set would be 2 pixels, so we just want to move it just a bit. So this is your vertical effect. So this is up down, so you're telling it to go just a bit, just to go 2 pixels a bit, you know, so it'll just peek out a bit. And then now you want how much must it blur? So like must the blur be intense where you can actually see it's a shadow, or must it be less where you can actually just see the same shape of the section itself? So let's just start with 5 pixels just so we can see. Then RGBA is literally that red, green, blue, alpha. What is red? Red is the red color, green is the green color. So in colors, they normally have RGB, or yeah, RGB, which is red, green, blue. Those make up multiple colors. So we're gonna add values for the red, green, blue, as well as alpha. Alpha being transparency. That's what alpha means, transparency. Okay, so RGB makes up all the colors. Yes, like Ray said, makes up all the colors. Alpha is your transparency. So that's what the box shadow consists of. So obviously the color we would want is black, black being 000. Okay, so you do RGBA open brackets, then you say 0, 0, 0. That's black. You see, automatically popped up as black. Then now you want the transparency of this color, right? But if we go there, you'll see our shadow already. It's a black shadow, right? But you want it to be a bit transparent, okay? So to do that, you'll add a number, maybe 0.1. But another way you can do it is there's a slider here right next to the color wheel where you can slide and it will give you a number. So you'll see at the top there where there's RGBA 000, there's also 0.157, whatever. So you've got all of that. Yes, you can add a shadow to a font, or to text rather, but yeah, so that 0.1 whatever is the opacity. So if we go back, we'll see it's a bit less, it's less intense, right? Then if I show you this as well, let's maybe say 5 pixels, you'll see the shadow will move more that way, and now the side is empty, you see? So that's what the horizontal effect does. It moves it horizontally, then vertical moves it down. So if I edit this to be maybe 8, we'll see it move a bit more down there, you see? So now it's moved more down. Now that's our horizontal effect. I mean the vertical effect. So if you wanted to just look subtle and not too much in your face, low values look a bit nicer. So this is how it looks. Cool. We still good? Do we still follow? Do we still follow? Are we still together? Yes. Thank you for the gifts. Appreciate it. Perfect. Cool. Now let's go to the next section. So this is what we have so far. Let's go to the next section. What's the next section? We want to now edit our H2. So these are H2s. We did not name them or anything, but those are H2s. So we can just write H2 and it will edit both of them at the same time. Okay, so we can just maybe have a color for them. Our color can match that color we have for our background here. You see, so this is how it would look. Okay, then that's all, unless you want to change the font size or font family, but that's all. That's the only change I wanted to do to make it that color, so it just pops a bit. And then the next part is our footer. We still follow, right? Okay, cool. Now in our footer, we just want the text to be centered. So you see how it's on the side here. So to center the text, we put a thing called text align. Then you center, then we say padding, and we just want some padding, maybe 10 pixels, so that it has some spacing. And we want to change add some of the background color. Background color can be what color? A light white. And then this is how it would look. Basically, this is how it would look. Okay, but now obviously this is very, plain. Maybe you want to add some links to take them to your Instagram or your LinkedIn, stuff like that. So firstly, I want to make sure everyone is on the same page with me. Then we can add those as well, add our social links. Are we all together? Do we have the same thing? Background color to different. So to change the background color, here it is. So you just change that. Maybe you wanted red. Background color will be red. But yeah, this is very plain. So this was just for me to get y'all to do some CSS. But now we can add, now that we're all on the same page, we can add some more to it, But what I want us to now do is commit our changes, because we're now done with some CSS. We are happy with what we have. So we're happy with version 2. So this is what we've done. But now we want to add some social links so we can link people to our Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, GitHub, everything. Sadie, how are you? How are you, my brother? Oh, color of the footer. So if you want to change the color of the footer, it's wherever footer is, you'll see background. Just change it to whatever you want. And that's how it will look. Then if you want to change the color of the text, you just add here color and write whatever color you want of the text, maybe white. Then that's how it would look. Are we all understanding? Yeah, no, how I can get SQL too, but one step at a time. and we'll definitely get to that as well. Definitely get to that as well. But I just want to make sure everyone is following, so we can now add some social links, add some icons, and yeah. What's the time? No, don't. Yes, it's free to use. All right, now let's make it look nicer. Can we add another section? My contacts on the right. Huh? Can we add another section for my contacts on the right of about me section? Yes, we can. Let's show you how to do that. I also wanna is a requirement for web development. That's if you want to do what do you call it? Like applications that interact with databases. That's when you start using CSS. So saving user information or whatever. So you want us to add Sims does have effect when you just press tab. It basically just adds it for you. So if it shows up as a suggestion and you press tab, it will just add it for you. Okay, let's quickly commit so we can now add our other nice stuff. All right. So to commit, we go back to GitHub desktop. Then you'll see we've got changes. So we've added a link rel, we added some spacing, you know. It'll tell you about every change. This shouldn't actually have that there. Yeah, no, we all do that. We all do that. Cool. So we want to commit these so we can add some social links so that our site is more interactive, where people can click stuff. Maybe we can also add some animations as well. That would be also quite nice to do here. But I just want to make sure people are understanding. We follow. Did we understand the CSS? Can we continue? Can we commit now? Yes. Yeah. Yes. Cool. This is gonna be on my YouTube. Oh, I'm live on YouTube. It will still be on YouTube for people to watch again. Okay, so what we need to now do is write a name for our commit. So what did we do? Added some styling to our portfolio website. Okay, first I don't want that background. Okay, it's not actually bad. Maybe we can make it light, because I remembered we just changed it there. Maybe a lighter blue. Ah, much better. Cool. Perfect. So what you need to do here, we add a description, or basically a commit website. That's the commit name. Then you can add a description if you want, whatever you want, but you can just say first version of portfolio done with styling complete. Right? Then you'll click on commit 2 files to main. Okay, so commit 2 files to main. Then it will do commits, and it will tell you that you have one local commit waiting to be pushed. Are we on the same page? Are we all on the same page? We're pushing. If you've got master, it will be master. If you've got main, it will be main. They are the same. But yes, we're pushing to our master branch, main branch. Yes, yes, yes. Perfect. So we're done. We've committed. Now we're going to click on push origin. Click on push origin. Yes, push origin. That's Ceci. There you have to use Git, and yeah, it will be a bit. I'll try and do a video and post it specifically on how to start or get started with Git on VS Code as well. Okay, cool. So if we go to our GitHub quickly, where's our GitHub? Refresh your repositories. Yes, I'll show you how to create branches as well. And then you will see here, you've just updated, you've just made a change right now. So now you've got another commit, you've got 3 commits now. Then you've got initial, implemented, and you've now added some. So these are now 3 commits that you've done. So let's now quickly add this onto Netlify so that this is available online quickly. And then we can move to now adding some more stuff to it so that people at least have the site online now. Cool. So how do we do that? First thing we need to now do is we need to search for Netlify. 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 Search for Netlify. Now we are hosting. Yes, the live will be available on the YouTube. Live will be available on the YouTube at Simphiwe Radebe ____. Cool. So yeah, so we search for Netlify. Now we are hosting our website on Netlify for free. We're hosting it on Netlify so people can actually see it. And how do we do that? We search for Netlify, click on enter, then you will see this netlify.com. So you can open this netlify.com and you will see information about Netlify. Okay, I'll try to post it on TikTok. I just have to cut it if I have to post it on TikTok. But yeah, I'll try and do that. So you want to either sign up if you haven't signed up or log in. So you guys will obviously have to sign up. I've already signed up, so it will automatically log me in. So the sign up process is very simple. Again, gosh. So it's just click sign up with email, enter your email address, put in a password, then sign up. Then you will get an email address, an email from Netlify, which you can use to finish the verification. So I'll just gosh. Okay, are we still following? Just let me know when, if someone hasn't registered, let me know if you're registering and you're done so we can continue. Okay, I'm continuing. Now what we have to do is we need to click on add new project. Okay, add new project. So click on add new project and then you're going to say import an existing project. The reason we want to do that is we want to use our GitHub, where if we make any change to GitHub, it will automatically update it on our site. Okay, so you'll click on import an existing project. Import an existing project. Cool. Now the next part is we need to click on what we've used. So we're obviously using GitHub. Perfect. So you're gonna click on GitHub, then it will open up a pop-up where it will authorize you with GitHub quickly. Then it will show all your projects here. So it will show up with all your projects. Then you can search for portfolio. So this is the one I just did now. So you will find, if you named it something else, search for whatever you named it as. But here's my portfolio. So the one we just did, it's portfolio website. So I'll click on this and it will now review some information. So it's just asking for the project name. So we'll call it our App Academy portfolio. So this is just for me. You can name it your name because I already have one with my name. So you can name it Simphiwe Radebe portfolio, whatever. So this will be your domain name, so that when someone searches for it, they're gonna use that name to search for it. So be as descriptive and not too long. So you can make it even Sims portfolio. It's free, so this is free. Oh, someone already took Sims 2. Okay, so Sims 2 dash portfolio, that's the name. If I have no dash there. Someone already took it. 00. Okay, cool. So Sims portfolio. Then I'll give someone this link to find my portfolio. Okay, I'd give someone this link to find my portfolio. Then the next part, build settings. You do not have to worry about build settings because we're not doing React or Next.js type of websites. Then environment variables as well, you do not have to worry about those. So once you are happy, these are the only two you need to check. Make sure it's on your team. It will only be one team anyway. Then your project name. Once you're happy, you click on deploy. Yes, you need to commit and then push to origin. Commit and then push to origin. Okay, cool. Let's continue. I'll click on, now we click on deploy semisips. Oh, look, I'm saying that name. Yeah, so deploy, then it will tell you that it's the deployment is in progress. So now it's gonna deploy this entire site online where anybody can access it. So now that it's deployed, I can click on this link and voila, here's the website available online for anybody to see. So if someone accesses this link, they're able to see this website. Just like that, you've created your first portfolio available to the public for anybody to see. But now obviously we want it to look much nicer. So after doing this, we are now happy and we want to make some changes. So we want to add some social links and yeah. So we're done, we've deployed, we're happy. Now we go back to VS Code. So what I want to add is some social links at the bottom for people to click on. So how would I do that? So maybe this does not look nice, right? So we'll remove that paragraph. Then we'll add a copyright this time. So we'll just say 2025 Simphiwe Radebe. Cool. Happy. Then under that, we're going to add a div. So remember, we said a div is a container. So this div that we want to use is going to be for social links. So we'll say the class name will be social links. All right. So let me track back. We're adding. Okay, I need that copyright symbol. I know there's a thing you can select on Windows or something like that, but yeah. Cool. So we've added a copyright. Yes, base directory. and leave the build stuff as is. Just leave the build stuff as is and just continue. No build command. Leave the build stuff and just say deploy. Yes, you can find it. If you search for it, you can find it on Chrome, wherever you want. It's now available for anyone to find. Can you send me a screenshot so I can see, because I need to be able to see to help. Okay, cool. Now we want to add some social links, so we gave it a class name social links, and now we're gonna add a few a publish directories. Leave that as is. Like I said, everything else leave it empty. Just publish the project. Okay, cool. We're adding some links now, right? And links are normally your hrefs or your hyperlinks. So we'll add some some hyperlink. Leave that as is. Do not touch anything for deployment. Just commit. Just deploy. Do not touch anything related to the deployment or functions, whatever. If I did not do it, do not do it. I have a WhatsApp group. Okay, cool. So we want to add some links, right? So the first link could be your Instagram account. I hope that's the right one. I don't think you add the at. Oh yeah. Okay, cool. So first edit the Instagram account. We want that when a person clicks on it, it takes them to a new tab, right? So remember that target blank. So we add the target blank, and then we want to have a name. So the name would be Instagram. Then after Instagram, we want to have something else. So what we will have here is maybe GitHub. So https github.com/. What if you want to use the logo? I'll get to that as well. We will add the icons. Get to that too. Cool. So this is GitHub. GitHub. Then we want to add maybe LinkedIn. So again, do the same thing. HTTPS linkedin.com/in. I think it's something like that. /in, right? Yeah, IN Simphiwe R. Cool. This is linked in. Just make sure you have the correct links. And here I forgot target blank. Target blank. Target blank. So we've got our Instagram, GitHub, LinkedIn. If you want maybe X as well, you can add X. But yeah, I think we've got enough, right? Then let's see how it looks. Not this one. So this is how it looks. So we've got Instagram, GitHub, LinkedIn. So if you click on them, it takes you to Instagram. If you click on GitHub, it takes you to GitHub. Then if you've got LinkedIn, it takes you to LinkedIn. Right? Yeah. So what GitHub does, what the target blank does, it basically says that when someone clicks on this link, take them to a new tab so that it does not remove the current tab that they're on. So if we remove target blank, let me show you. If we remove target blank and we click on LinkedIn, it's now gonna remove the site we are currently on and automatically replace it with something else. So we wanted to take the user to a new page so our site stays on. So that's what target blank is for. Oh, we detected what? Can you still see my face, right? Yeah. Let's see. This is how it looks. But now obviously we want to add maybe some, make it look a bit nicer. Then we'll add some icons also. So let's just see. Oh, why is everything loading so slow? So this is when you add your SEO, you are now trying to get your site listed much easier when people search either for your name or for a software developer on Google. So there you have to add meta tags with some information about the site, some links, some Google stuff and all that. So it's a bit, yeah, there's a lot of stuff to that as well. What Google, Facebook, links and all that stuff. Some metadata there. Okay, let's add the CSS of this now. So we've added a footer. Okay, we kept the footer as is. We added some text, right? And then in that text we added a div. This div basically contains our social links. So let's now, so we'll leave footer like that. Maybe we don't need that back. Do we need the background? I don't know. However you'd like. Then you can now call dot social links. Weldon. What's Weldon? How will I copy it? Sound notification. Sorry guys. I'm coding on VS Code. What did I want to do here now? Someone asked something. WhatsApp. Yes, WhatsApp. People, stop doing that. I'm trying to send the chat. Oh, there we go. Perfect. Let's continue. Um, no, I'm not. I'm not tired. I'm not tired. I am not tired. We can continue, guys. Let's continue. Cool. So we're now editing our social links. So we just want to do some. Oof! What did I do now? Want to do some change to that. Are we adding icons? Yeah, we'll add icons as well. We're almost done. Yes, we're almost done. So we add maybe a margin top. Hey, a margin top, and then let's see how that looks. Okay. I need to also add where's it now? Social links, we get there. Dot social links. Okay, so let me explain this thing. What I just did here, right? You see how if we did this, we'd be using all href tags in the entire project. But if I say I want dot social and I want the a tags only in dot social, it will affect only the tags or all the elements of a within this class name. So it will not, if we had an a or an href within the file, maybe here, go to Google. If I had a hyperlink here, so if I had a hyperlink here, which is also a, and we have also these a's right here, none of these have class names, right? None of them have class names, but if I use this, it will only look for the ones with a within social links. But if I had to remove this, it will make an edit for all of them, including this one up here, and we don't want that. So this is just you selecting a different tag or element within a class, and normally that's when you are using a class name that contains more elements. So that would be like your div. So in this instance, this div of social links, we want the a tag, right? Then we have a margin of 0 and 10 pixels. When are you done? We're almost done. We'll keep that same color. Then do we want an under? No. So what does text decoration do? You see how, let me first show it quickly. You see how we have an underline there, right? So we have an underline there. If we say we don't want that underline, we can say text decoration as none. That will remove the underline from the link itself, so you won't have that underline anymore. Then you can add some font weight. Font weight is to make it bold, light, whatever you want. So we just want it to be a bit bold. Are we all still following? There it is. Maybe let's make it white actually, because that is, unless this goes to okay, are we still good? Now what I'm doing here, we're checking a state of this tag. Yes, I'm self-taught. We're checking a state of this tag. State of this tag, we are checking that when it's on hover, we want something to happen. So when someone hovers over it, maybe we can underline it this time, and then maybe we can change the font size to be a bit bigger. Maybe we can say, and then we can even change the color to be black. So now when someone hovers over this, it will do all those stuff. See? But 20 pixels is like it's not doing anything. What's 40? How much is 40? Okay, there. But that's still, but yeah, that's sort of something. And then that margin there is very, are we still following? Are we still good? 830. Font size was true, using your points. PT is point. As many links as you want. So if you want to add another one here, can do that. You can add another one. So however many links you have, there you go. You see, you can add them there. Cool. Then this is white, so someone can't see this. So if they can't see it, you obviously know you need to make your change. So you can also check that in social links, the P must be white, or not white, sorry, black. So you can just change the color to black, and then I have a P. Oh, it's not in social links. I'm tweaking. It's in footer. So you could do footer P. There you go. Then you can also make it bold, maybe. Font weight, bold, maybe a bit smaller. Yeah, something like that. So you've added your links, but maybe you want to now add some about the bot. Okay. Oh yeah, no, we'll talk about that. We'll talk. But has everyone followed? Are we still good? We're still good. Are we still good? Give me a second. That one?
Yeah.
Yes. So good for now. Okay. Sorry guys, I'm back. What were we even on? Where were we? Okay, also I saw this looks not the greatest. Maybe we can also edit this as well. So how would we edit this? We can change this, keep that as is, and then let's maybe scrap. Standard and switch off it. I was still going. Yeah, so let's try and update the way our project section looks, right? So we can add a div which will be our project list. Sorry, class. This is the last part, I hope, where we can just make it look a bit nicer. So we can add a project list, right? Then in the project list we'll have different projects that will be cards. Okay, so we'll have another div. This will be project card, and then what projects did I add? Just lost them. It's fine. The first one will be portfolio website. Oh, sorry. First have a heading, right? Maybe let's make it H3 actually. My best friend can prefer. I said there's a, what's this thingy? WhatsApp right there. Are we still following? We're still following. Oh, it moves a bit faster. Pa, 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 pa. 1.2. Please help. No. Okay, where are we stuck? Where are we stuck? Free code camp. Yes, we're removing the unordered list now, and then we're trying to make it look a bit nicer, so we rearranging it now. So what we're adding here will be an H3, which will be the title of the project, right? Portfolio website. Okay, then we add a paragraph. This will be a description. So haven't made. No, it's fine. Make those more changes. I'll check the email. Let me try and see it now. Yeah, just you need to see there by summary required. You need to add your description of the commit you're making so that the commit button can be enabled for you. So you just need to click on that and be able to add a description there, and then your button will be enabled. So now you can just say we created a to showcase our projects skills. And so we're basically just adding a description here, right? So we said we're adding a, maybe move it from here. So we're adding a section, or we already have the section. It's very hard. Simphiwe Radebe. I asked on what to do after signing in. Yes, create a repository. Yeah, no, Rebecca, you are very late. Are you going to upload it on YouTube? Yes, it's going to be uploaded on YouTube. I am live on YouTube as well right now. It's at Simphiwe Radebe. Oof, what happened there? __. Thank you, my guy Vasiri. Cool. So the next part, so we added a description, right? So we added a div which will contain all our projects, and all our projects will be cards instead of a list or a UL with list items. So we're just replacing the UL with a div of projects, and then in that div of projects we've got project cards, which will be your list. So in the project cards we want to have a title, which will be the H3. We want to have a description, and we want to have maybe a button to allow the person to view the project. The button would be an href. For now you can just keep it as hashtag, then you can just say view project. Cool. Then you can just copy this entire card and paste it maybe 3 times. So you'll have 1 project card, 2 project cards, 3rd project card. Okay, then you can change it however you want. Let me repeat. We've got project list, we've got project card, which is its own div, right? We'll copy the project card we just created, the div of project card, and paste it 3 times, so that we've got 3 project cards, okay, which would be 3 projects, basically, essentially 3 projects. Okay, are we good there? What's a repository name? Whatever you want. So you can say portfolio website, or I'm frozen. Let's see here. Oh no, I'm not frozen. This thing is weird actually. Now I'm back. What does this do, guys? I know they expire. Let's try and see if we can use one. Yeah, and the thing will be on again on YouTube, so it'll still be there. I'm hearing an echo. Yeah, it expires. Let me try and use one. see what it does. Okay, cool. So we did project card, right? Copied it 3 times. Hey, not WordPress. Yo, then you're not a developer. You're just dragging and dropping. How does it? Yeah, no. Cool. So we did that, right? Now we need to do our CSS. So we've got our 3. Now we need to use our CSS. Try and rewind so you can at least see where we've started. Yeah, because we've really moved. We've done GitHub and we've done HTML again and done some CSS. So we've really moved. Okay, so we want to add a new section here. This will be our project list. So this is just a comment. This star /star is a comment. So it's green like this. It's just a comment, just so I know what's what, right? Then you're adding dot projects list, right? Then now we remember what we did last time where we used our display flex, not inline, display flex and our flex wrap. It's my first time here. I'm on Python step by step. GitHub it is 100%. What am I doing? Flex wrap. Want it as a wrap. Then you want to justify your content center. So this is basically us now centering our divs. So if I go there, firstly you'll just see this as is for now. So if I had a background on a div, you'd see that they are centered. Right now the text is not centered, so this is how it looks so far. Okay, but we'll get back to that. Cool. Then we just want some gap is some spacing, right? And then that's all we've done so far. Now let's go back and continue. The next part is we want to edit the project card. The project card, right? The reason we wrote dogging CSS is because people are learning. I know how to use Tailwind. I use Tailwind all the time. People are still learning, so I'm teaching. Okay, let's continue. We've done our project card, right? Now we want to add a background color to this project card. We'll make it white, and then some design border on the left. We'll add, so this is basically adding a border, but on the left hand side only, and we want to have a 4 pixel width border. We want it to be solid, and the color, you just choose one question. Ask your question. Ask your question. Oh, so just search copyright sign or copyright symbol, then you can just copy it from Google. I know there's I forgot the code. The HTML code is, there's it. So if you want the copyright symbol, you can do either and copy. Let's see if it works. And copy, then it will still have your copyright symbol down there. So you see it there. So this is the line I'm still doing. So you'll see it just now. how it's gonna look. So I just added a border left 4 pixels, so it will be 4 pixel wide, solid, and the color. So whatever color you want. Maybe green is not nice, you want yellow or orange, whatever. So you can be as creative as possible. Okay, are we good? Then let's add some padding, of course, because you saw the spacing, it's not really nice there. We can maybe add 15 pixels of padding. Then now it's added some nice padding there. Okay, then you can add a border radius, 8 pixels maybe. So there's that border there, so you'll see it right there. Border radius is right there. Okay, then after that, shall be back. Okay, cool. Let's quickly continue. Added a border radius, right? Border radius, added that curve there. Then the next part we need to do is add a width. So we can set the width, maybe want it to be 250 pixels wide. So that'll be basically, it makes it like a square. So if you don't want it to be 250, you can make it 300. How can I save my project? What do you mean, how can you save it? Control S. Or what do you mean? Then we add maybe a box shadow. Lungile, how do you want to save it? Box shadow, we did a box shadow, horizontal, vertical, and then your blur radius. Yes, we're creating a portfolio. Then your RGBA, however you want it. Then you can add a transition. So this is because we're going to add something else. We're going to check on hover. We need to do something, right? So we're gonna add an on hover, which will be affected by this. So we'll say dot project card, and then we want hover. Okay, then we want that when transform, we want to translate y. So this means we want to move -5 pixels on the y-axis. So y being up and down, it will transform it that way. Okay, on hover. Let's quickly check. Do you see? So it moves it up. So when you hover over it, it will go up because you're saying negative. If it's positive, it's going that way. Negative that way. Are we still following? I'm about to also go off soon. We're still following? No, I can't go to C++. Try another direction. Oh, okay. You can say 20 pixels down. There you go. That's another direction. If maybe you wanted it to go left, you'd say X. Then you can say 2 pixels, which will move that way. There you go. If you want to see huge changes, you can make it bigger. Then that's how you'll see it move. Okay, that's what the transform does. Got it. So we just wanted to move up, so it was negative 5 pixels. So when someone clicks on it, it like goes up. See, that's what it's for. Then the next part, we want to just maybe edit our h3 within our project, which is our title, right? For our title, we don't want any margin, okay, at the top. Hope we're still following. I don't see any complaints, so I hope we're still good. Thank you for the follow, Mr. Vooks. Cool. Margin top and the color. What color do we want it to be? Maybe we can have the same green as our line, right? So it'll be like this. Okay. So you see how it looks. So that's what we have. Then we're done with the h3. Still good. We're still good. We're still good. After this, is it possible when you're done, leave the code in the description? Yeah. I'll leave the GitHub repo, and then people can just either download the GitHub. I'll also upload the code onto Google Drive or something. So the next part we want to edit is our project card paragraph, which is the description, right? So we can just change the font size. Thank you so much for the heart me. Change the font size. Want it to be 14 pixels maybe. And then what color do we want? It's like a gray. This is how it would look. It's a bit smaller, which is better than that big text, right? That's all we needed, those subtle changes. Then the last part maybe we want to change is hi Lu Nico, how are you? Last part we want to change is our href or our hyperlinks, right? So to change our hyperlinks, we just calling project card, and we want the hyperlinks. So now we want to, is it possible to turn the button? Yes, we can turn it into a button. So you'd rather have it as a button. Asante. Oh, at least you're now learning it. At least you're now learning it. Okay, cool. So if you want this to be a button, I don't know, we can actually just make them all the same, right? So we'll just do a display copy work, perfect, inline block, and then we add some padding on the top and up, down, left, right. I didn't catch everything. No, you can watch it on YouTube, and then you can just at least rewind and see what we did to get to what we got to. There might be some missing semicolons, or you didn't close something correctly, or using the wrong brackets. Just check all of those small stuff. Those could normally add issues. So this is now making the hyperlink button. So we wanna add some styling. So we want the text to be white, which is FFF. We want a border, no border. Okay, see you out for you. Now I need to go, but let's just finish. Want border radius, just to give it some roundness. no text decoration. Then maybe the font can be bold, and then yeah, we can add a transition here as well. So maybe change the background color. How many, this is the duration of the thing, of the transition, and how we want it to transition. Then the only thing we need to do is we need to now set this transition. So we can say project, oh no, sorry, it's gonna, yeah, dot project card A, then hover. Then in here we're going to basically change our background color. What color would it be? And then 56B. So let's see how this looks. Here's your button. People can now see view project. Then if you want them to go to a project, let's say I want them to go to my portfolio website, so can add the link here. CSS is a lot, hence there's tools like Tailwind to make it easier. So you just need to learn the basics so that you are able to. So you see, if I now click on this, it'll take me to my portfolio website. But now I wanted to, like I said, it's good to have a target blank so that it takes them to a new page. That's if it's something you want. So let's stop that. So if I click on this, it should not, oh wait, it's not going to do it yet. Let's refresh that. There we go. So now it redirects me to a new page. Gamer what? Gamer? Hey, no, not at all. Yo, I've just been learning a lot. Then it takes you to whatever you want. So you can change the href to where you want the person to go. This is how you do your button. You can play around with the styling, whatever colors you want. Maybe the border radius is too small. I've been coding for 8 years. It's 8, no? Yeah. Since I was 14. Under those home experience and so forth, how do I add those things? So that's what's this? That's an F bar. Yo, bots, how are you? Hello. So that's a nav bar. So there's we can do that fast. So to add a nav bar, what applications have we built so far? You can check my portfolio, and then there's my projects. You can just see. Thank you for the gift. Those are just a few projects that are out there. But let's quickly add a nav bar. Someone asked to see that, so you can add nav. So nav is for nav bar, right? Then the nav bar needs to have lists. Okay, so we'll give this a class of nav bar, and then some list items. How many do we need? Li. So we're going from what? Home, about, projects, and contacts. 1 2 1 2 Li times 2. So this will be a home, about, what is it, projects. I've got no extensions actually on here. It's a fresh install. Thank you for the roses. Okay, cool. So we done this. Oof, wait, I did it wrong. Sorry, I did it wrong. So we need to have an li, then have an href inside of it. In this href is where we add the home. So you can just duplicate this to 3 4 times. Change that to about projects, and then contacts. So this will be home, hashtag about, hashtag projects, and then hashtag contact. Cool, right? So this is what we did, right? So here we now need to give this an ID, because now we have a navbar, right? We want things to go to the different sections. Okay, so here we'll add an ID of hashtag top, or of top, sorry. Okay, we have added an ID of top. Ooh, excuse me. The about does not need, oh, it has the hashtag about. Thank you. Then here we also need an ID again. Gravity. Thank you so much, fellow. Oh, you're here also. Thank you so much, my brother. Projects. What's wrong? Okay, cool. So we've added ID of projects, and then, excuse me, that's actually, we don't even need contact because we don't have a contact section. My bad. Cool. So we've added our IDs, right? Now when someone clicks on these, it's going to take them, is this one now? So if someone clicks on home, it'll try to like direct them wherever. Projects, take them to projects. So you see how it works. If I click home, I'm already on home. If I click about, it takes me to about. If I click on project, it takes me to projects within the same site. Okay, but obviously we need to style this to look a bit nicer, of course. So now to style this, was this that did the secret of, oh yo, I did this, how old was I? Yeah, 14. So I was in grade 8, 9, grade 9, 8, 9, somewhere there. Okay, let's quickly style this. So now we want to style our nav bar, right? So to do that, we can just have a nav. This is gonna be a bit more, yeah. So we obviously need to style it. So let's add a background color for this, and then so this position here, this is an interesting one. So position sticky makes the nav bar essentially sticky, right? But let me show you something. So you see how if I'm scrolling down now, it's still up there, but we wanted to move with the person, like here, to move with you. Yeah, it's a site that, yeah, I see it moves with you, it stays there. So that's what we want to do. So now we need to remove any space, or put it at the top. Basically this is positioning it at the top. Then the Z index being, if you I don't know how to explain, because it's like in 3D, if you've got X, Y, and Z. Z is your layering above one another. So your Z index would be you moving it to the, see the value I'm gonna add here, let me show you, at let's say 1000. So it's gonna be Z index, it's gonna be number 1 all the time, so nothing will be between that Z index. So I myself don't know how to explain this one, but you're basically taking this element to be the top level element within your HTML file. I hope that makes sense. So you see how it stayed there now. So you see, because now it's the top level element, it's now gonna always be above everything else. That's your Z index. So you want it to be above every single thing. Yes, it remains fixed at the top because we've positioned it to be sticky and we've positioned it to be the top, and then the index, Z index, this can be any value. Even if I put a value of 1, if I put a value of 1, it will still be there because these are on a value of 0. But the reason for putting it at a big number is because nothing else will be above 1,000 or even above 50 in most cases. Now let's edit the nav bar. Why don't you just use a fixed value? In terms of what? Fixed value for what? Okay, we don't want to style because we don't want the dots, right? Now we want to be able to manipulate the positioning of our items. We just want it to be centered, maybe. Add some padding as well. Some padding, and then margin. We don't want any margin. And then can add a gap between each item. So this will do it like this now. So you see, it's done it like this. No, I'm working. Basic information, yes. Miss B, why don't you use fixed value? Can you just ask that again properly? What does the 0 do after the 10? So I've explained this. So this is your x-axis and y-axis. So the 10 is you are adding padding on your y-axis, then no padding on the x-axis. So y, which is up and down, then left and right. Hope that makes sense. So if I put it as vice versa, let's see. See how there's no padding anymore on the top and bottom. There's no more padding on the top and bottom. So as soon as I add some padding for top and bottom and no padding on the sides because we don't need it, then you've got it like this. Okay. Are we still following? Now let's change how our list items look. So I've already explained what this is. We're going into navbar, we're looking for the list items. In list items, we're looking for the hyperlinks. Okay, so we want to change the colors of them, the text color to white, FFF. Then you don't want any underlines and all that, so removing the text decoration. Is this recorded? Yes, this is recorded. It's on YouTube, so YouTube channel is the same as my TikTok. Same as my TikTok. Can make it bold. And some padding. Wanted 6. And then I haven't checked on YouTube. Damn. Oh, sorry. YouTube's still fine. And then so these are basically the same things we did at the top. It's just using those elements again, right? So just reusing the same properties again. So here I'm changing the background color. I want the transition to last for 2 seconds, 0.2 seconds, and the transition to be eased, right? Then I can do some changes. Are we on YouTube right now? Okay, we've been live for 3 hours 30 minutes. That's actually long. Yeah, I think it's time to end soon. Yo, like very soon. That's very long. The last one. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the subscription. I appreciate everybody that has subbed, everybody that has followed, liked, commented, joined the live. appreciate it. Without you guys, I wouldn't be even doing this. Background. So there we go. Here's our site. Take us to about, take us to project, take us to home. Oh, I didn't do a hashtag home. Home should actually be hashtag because that takes you to the top. There we go. So are we happy? Yes, this is not the greatest, but this is done with just HTML, CSS for you guys to have something out there. We can, obviously, you can now play around with colors or whatever you want, but this is just me showing you guys how to do something. It is now available online, but you'll see now, see, these are the old changes. So now let's commit this, all our changes, right? So now we say, what did we do? Updated projects section and added social links. So Java yo. Say one. Oh, someone, what do you work? I'm an Android developer, Ashley. I forgot your comment. Okay, cool. I just added something and then I'm committing 2 files, right? These are the files we just worked on. So you'll see as I commit, take note, this we on the live site, right? And it's not updated yet, okay? So take note of that. So we've done this, we've committed, then we say push origin. We'll start pushing. Let it push. Wait, okay, it's done pushing, right? So let's quickly go to our GitHub and see. So now we've got another change. Now we've done another change, okay? We've done another change. Then if we go to Netlify, we'll check here, refresh this. So you see the time, it's now published already because it automatically saw changes on GitHub. So here's it, here's the link, or here's the name you just done, updated project section and added social links. As soon as we go to this website and refresh, if we refresh, you'll see now it's updated our site. So it automatically does deployments for updates based on your changes on GitHub. That's it, guys. How do you spell that? This will be on YouTube. Yeah, no, I can also wait for you for JavaScript. Yeah, we can get to that as well too. This will be on YouTube. Please tell me, can you put a portfolio out as a website? Basically, yeah, basically. Like I said, here's my portfolio. Literally, my portfolio is out there. Can we change this back now? What about a database? Yeah, database is SQL. So once we get into more complex applications being web apps, we can definitely do that. Yeah, 100%. Practice makes perfect. Okay. So yeah, this is what you can get to. I also agree. I think the way questions come about also makes it a bit long. So it makes it very long. But definitely we can really look at how we can do that. But thank you everyone for joining. Appreciate it. I really, really appreciate it. Let's go back to real quick. Thank you guys. You'll catch this on YouTube as soon as we end. You can rewatch it. Thank you, Mr. Bao. Yeah, again, catch it on YouTube, rewatch it. Let me know if you need any help. And yeah, that's it from my side. I can go sleep now. I'll send the what you call this, the GitHub link, and you can just see it from there. Nah, I don't sleep with a headache. It's just my voice. I sleep with the bad voice. Okay, cool. We'll be live. What's tomorrow? Friday. Yeah, tomorrow we'll be live after we hear the session from App Academy. Then prepare for that, and we'll be live for that. Again at 8. Same time, same place. Yes, I will check my DMs. Then thank you so much. That's it from me, guys. Enjoy the rest of your night. We'll see you guys tomorrow. If you can't see the link, under my profile, SimiSips, there will be portfolio website, which will be public. Thank you, guys.